smack the like button if you like watching content on unreleased knives that will be here soon. How's it going, everybody? I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And if you can't tell, I'm excited today. And I'm stoked because we get to check out a new piece, a prototype from our friend Casey over at Tempest Knives. Casey also goes by Knives Fast. He has his own channel where he talks about knives and EDC gear and he does testing. And Casey is supremely good at listening to all of the feedback that he gets from, well, everybody. And because of that, every design that he comes out with seems to be a little bit better. And that's exciting because now we have the Tempest Knives Jet Stream. The prototype is here. It's time for us to check it out. Let's not waste any time. Let's check out the Tempest Knives Jet Stream. Ladies and gentlemen, it's here, the Tempest Knives Jet Stream. And first and foremost, I do have to mention that this is a prototype. So there might be some little tweaks, some little changes, but ultimately this is what you will get. Now, this one is the reverse tux model and it's beautiful. I don't want to get too heavy set into the specs, but we will do some blade comparisons. I'll talk about what I like. I'll talk about what I don't like. And then I'll give my final thoughts on this prototype. Now, let's start with the materials. Now, on this one, you'll notice that it says D2 on the blade, but I promise you, we have not lapsed. We have not gone back in blade steels. You'll remember that the last couple Tempest knives, like the Pinion and the Microburst, those were in 14C28N. Because this is a prototype, this one's in D2. However, the final finished product is going to have 154 cm on the blade. Next up, the handle scales will in fact be titanium. Hallelujah. I'm excited for that. And then of course we have our standard fare single-sided captive pivot. We have a titanium pocket clip, very minimal body screws, and the body screws and clip screws that are there are in fact T8s, which is perfect. The pocket clip is ambidextrous, so you lefties, go ahead and rejoice. And for the side that doesn't have the clip, there is a filler tab. I don't believe that that filler tab takes away from the overall aesthetic, and you will be able to get this in a couple different finishes. Now, it is running on ceramic bearings, and guys, this is probably, no, it's definitely the smoothest action for deployment. And yes, the action is very, very smooth. Those ceramic bearings do a fantastic job of really letting that blade fly out and also of getting that blade to come right back in. And even with this coated blade, you know, coated blades happen to do this thing where they just seem a little gritty from the offset and they take a little bit of breaking in. And you know what, this one, you definitely feel it, but it breaks in really nicely. The bearings and the detent, they wear a track very quickly, and then it becomes really buttery smooth. It features this deployment hole as well as kind of a hidden flipper tab. Now, that flipper tab, it's not really something you want to push button because, you know, the knife will in fact come back and hit you there. However, it's meant for light switching. So if you light switch this, bang, you'll see that it just flies out, and the detent is perfectly tuned for that. If I was to do this left-handed, and I am not left-handed, you'll see that there is no issue deploying. Very smooth. The detent, again, nicely well-tuned. And this has a nice deep drop point style blade that is almost a little bit upswept. Now let's go ahead and do a couple knife comparisons. First and foremost, we'll put it up against the Spyderco Manix 2. And then how about we also do the Spyderco Paramilitary 2? So as you can see here, it's actually very close in stature to the Manix 2. It's got a bit wider of a blade than the Paramilitary 2, and the handle scales are also going to be closer to the Manix 2. So we'll go ahead and get that out of there. Let's go ahead and see how is it on the carry profile. So it is pretty much spot on for being the same width handle scale wise as the Spyderco Manix 2, and that's fantastic. The Manix 2 is a lot of people's favorite Spyderco, and people really seem to enjoy it. I've got to say the ergonomics on here are phenomenal, and you have plenty of access to that lock bar. That lock bar is going to be really easy to access, and it's not harsh at all. In fact, I don't think that there's a single hot spot on this knife. Another improvement is going to come in the form of the pocket clip. Now, I have extolled my disappointment at wire clips, and I know that Casey loves wire clips, but I also know that he listened when people said that they didn't. And so this one actually coming with a 3D milled titanium clip is very nice. I'm a big fan of that titanium clip and also of that hidden flipper tab. And it is kind of hidden, and I like that it's there. It's an option for you to use. But it doesn't get in the way of the ergos. And as I was mentioning, the ergos are fantastic because there really is only a slight suggestion of, hey, this is where you put your pointer finger, and it's going to fit really well in the hand. Everything is nicely rounded out and milled over and chamfered over. And so it's not going to disappoint in that arena at all. Another thing is that this specific one has jimping. I'll see if I can get it to focus. There is jimping on this blade, and it does a pretty dang good job with the jimping. The jimping feels comfortable. It's deep enough to get the job done, but not too deep to really bite into your finger. And yeah, that's pretty nice. Overall, I think that this is a slam dunk. The OEM is Kubi, and Kubi does a phenomenal job. Now, these are going to be going into pre-order within the next month. I believe he told me sometime in July, and he's going to be running a special on the pre-order. And again, guys, if this reverse tux is not your thing, he is going to have a couple different finishes, but you want to get in on the pre-order because he'll be doing it at a lower price on the pre-order than he will be once they arrive. For the pre-order, it's going to be somewhere in the $120 price range, which is going to be titanium with 154 cm, and of course you wait for them to actually drop, they will be somewhere around the $140 price point. All in all, I'm very impressed. This knife is extremely slicey. It's nice and thin here behind the edge. It's well made. The action is good. The ergos are good. I don't really have anything negative to talk about. One tiny nitpick that I do have is that I wish that it had a bit more of a sharpening choil. I do wish that it had a bit more of a cutout here. I think that would have been pretty awesome. As it stands, I don't think that you'll have any issue sharpening this or maintaining the blade. 154 cm is a really nicely rounded out blade steel, and I think a lot of people will be happy with it for that price tag. Whether you get it for 120 bucks or 140 bucks, this is going to be one that I think many people are going to be impressed with, especially if you bought the Tempest Pinion or the Tempest Microburst. You're going to want to check this out. And if you want to make sure that you're informed when these do drop, when the pre-order comes live, make sure to go over to TempestKnives.com, or better yet, just follow Knives Fast on YouTube. If you haven't done that yet, you're definitely missing out. But guys, I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Are you excited about the Jetstream? Are you going to pick one up? If not, why not? Let me know in the comments section down below. I look forward to those conversations. I'm Rollshambo. I'll catch you on the flip side.